It's an old city. Legends say dwarves built it first. Then after they vanished, the natives moved in. Finally, the Nords took over around Tiber Septim's time. That bent a few folks' arms the wrong way. They just called themselves the people of the Reach. Had common blood with the Bretons by the looks of them. Used to have their own kingdom till the Nords came. Now they're at the bottom of the hay pile. That's right. Whole group of the natives called the Forsworn rose up against the Nords. Drove them out. Then Ulfric Stormcloak came with his militia. That must have been a sight to see him shooting folks to death. You'd think that'd be the end of it, but those Forsworn are still in the hills, and they're as vile as wolves. That's right, at least according to them scholars. Stonework's clearly not moored, that much is for sure. Old elven fella named Calcimo, up in Understone Keep's the one you want to talk to for more about that. Wrote all those books. All right then. City of Markarth sure is a beauty. No doubt about that.
That would be Jarl Igmund. Young for a ruler of the Hold, especially the Reach. Wasn't surprising he stayed loyal to the Empire. His father helped capture Ulfric Stormcloak after the Markarth incident.
Igmund's father was killed by Forsworn. I won't rest until they've paid with their blood.
It's the whole reason Ulfric revolted against the Empire. Well, the first reason anyway. Forsworn had taken over Markarth, and Ulfric and his men drove them out. Empire promised they'd be free to worship Talos afterwards. Pity no one told the elves. A whole group of those Thalmor came, and they demanded Ulfric's arrest.
The Thalmor know how to deal with Talos worshippers.
Before the Nords came, we worshipped the old gods, had our own kingdom. Times have been good and bad since then, but some folks couldn't handle not ruling their own land. Those are the Forsworn. The Forsworn follow the old ways, and some of those were best forgotten. Blood sacrifices, communing with Daedra. It's the road to ruin. May the crags fail to trip your feet.
Don't fall.
Wait, I know you.
Who are you to approach the Jarl of Markarth?
Clear if you don't want to steam him.
Very well. You may approach the mournful throne, but watch your words. Keep your eyes open for Forsworn before he goes.
Igmund, we need to talk about the Silverblood family.
What about them? They seem loyal enough.
Loyal? Thongor supports Ulfric and his Stormcloaks. We should imprison the entire family as a precaution.
I second that, Igmund. Who knows what that family will do for power? They could be working with the Forsworn for all we know.
Enough. We can't imprison the very people that own the jail we'll be throwing them into. The Silverblood family are to be left alone. Am I clear?
Yes,
Yes, my Jarl.
You have the honor of addressing a member of the Thalmor. Bask in it.
What are you hiding, priest?
I'm not hiding anything. It's closed for a reason.
Typical Imperial lies. First, you take away Talos. Now you're keeping us from seeing our honored dead? You and the Jarl will answer for any desecration of my ancestors' bodies.
That's enough, Thongor. We're done.
The Silverblood family will be heard.
Finally, someone with decent sense. The Empire is destroying everything Skyrim stands for. Honor, pride, mighty Talos. Jarl Igmund can't ignore us for much longer. Not if the Silverblood family has a say. That's a true Nord hero. A legend. So great that the divines themselves lifted his soul into the heavens and made him a god. He founded the Empire, and now they've turned their back on him. To appease the elves. Elves. Do the elves rule Skyrim, or do the Nords?
As if this craggy wretch of a city could give birth to a superiorly bred mer such as myself. No, I'm not from Markarth.
They started the Great War, nearly destroyed the Imperial City. Then the Emperor took the coward's way out and surrendered. Now, the elves dictate everything we do, and they don't want us acknowledging a mere human like Talos as the god he is.
I was sent here to lead the Thalmor's interests in this corner of Skyrim. It's my mission to root out all Talos worship in this city.
You speak to Igmund, son of Orolfdir, Jarl of Markarth. It all started here, this rebellion. When the Empire lost the Reach during the Great War, we became desperate. We promised a group of Nord militia free worship in exchange for their help retaking the Horde. Then the elves found out about it. We were forced to arrest all of them. Ulfric Stormcloak, their leader, used the whole thing as proof that the Empire had abandoned Skyrim. The rebels called it the Markarth Incident. It was the founding day for the Stormcloaks, and where this war really started. When the Aldmeri Dominion invaded the Imperial City, the Legion all but turned a blind eye to the other provinces. Many of the disgruntled natives of the Reach used the opportunity to depose the Empire and founded what they called an independent kingdom. It was little more than a chaotic uprising, but the Reach was removed from Imperial authority for 2 years before we reclaimed it. But the leaders of the uprising refused our offers of peace. They fled into the hills and became the Forsworn. The White Gold Concordant, our treaty with the elves after the Great War, forbids free worship of Talos. But that's what we promised Ulfric and his men. It seems foolish looking back, but at the time we were hoping the elves wouldn't find out. So when they did find out, it was either we arrest Ulfric and the militia, or enter into yet another war with the Aldmeri Dominion. The choice was clear. And now, Ulfric threatens the thinly veiled peace we sacrificed so much for.
It's a religious matter. The Thalmor do not recognize Talos as a god. He was only a man, and does not deserve a place in our pantheon. The Empire has agreed to accept our beliefs, and its citizens have a responsibility to cease their heretical worship.
We own Sidna Mine, best prison in Skyrim, and source of half the wealth in this city. We keep the Reach safe. We flood Markarth with wealth. But does the Jarl listen to us when we want to say? No. He's busy forgetting that Ulfric Stormcloak saved this city from the Forsworn. Ulfric's a hero, not a damn criminal. He used the Thule, shouted those Forsworn from the walls. Then he led a band of Nord warriors in to take the city. Just like Talos himself at the Battle of Old Hroldan, reclaiming the Reach from those heathen natives.
The Warrens isn't a place for your type. What do you want? It's where you go when you can't afford a room anywhere else. About the time they opened the mines, someone got the idea to throw beds in here. Laborers, the sick, the lame, we're all here. That's right. Welcome to Markarth, traveler. Thank the Divines you can choose to live somewhere else.
You don't want to be here. No one wants to. Don't know anyone here who doesn't have rattles or ataxia.
Stay out of trouble in my city.
I oversee Markarth smelter. Worker gets out of line, I get him back in line. What? No. Thonar Silverblood owns it. He owns everything in Markarth. But he hands all the paperwork over to Nepos, the Nose, to finish. That old man's back is heavy with burden. Careful. You spilled one drop of silver, I'm taking it out of your hide.
I'm being as careful as I can.
Did you just talk back to me? I'm not paid to listen. I'm paid to keep you working. Now work.
We've lost a lot of good people to that damn crusade. Drive out the Nords, they say. Well, the Nord ain't driven out.
I don't want any of you thieving workers even thinking about stealing any silver. If I see you sneaking off with even one speck of silver,
I know you.
I'll break your leg and throw you into the river.
Yes, Momish. Don't get involved in that nonsense. Just want to work.
If a man has time to complain, he has time to work.
Outsiders. Bloody enough for you, outsider? Markarth, is it bloody enough for you? If I was threatening you, believe me, you'd know it. You outsiders never learn. If the Forsworn don't get you, the guards will throw you in Sidna mine to work your fingers off. Think that's water in the river? Blood and silver are what flows through Markarth, friend. It's right there in the name of the most powerful family in Markarth, the Silverbloods. They have a whole mine filled with prisoners to dig up silver ore, get smelted by workers they pay, and they own half the city. I work for them. The inn is named after them. When the guards make an arrest, they check with them first.
Markarth is not without its problems, but the Empire is here to maintain order.
No. I live in a nice house in solitude, where the air isn't filled with smoke from the silver smelters, and golden-haired girls shine my shield. Been here ever since I left the Bard's College. Turns out a few muscles earn more gold than a damn loot. The Silverbloods pay me, let me crack a few skulls, and keep the guards off my back. That's all I need. Blood and silver, friend. Blood and silver.
Arnleif and Sons Trading Company buys and sells anything you wandering types need. No, I'm not Arnleif. Yes, I know it's called Arnleif and Sons. Oh, by the Divines, is it that obvious? I swear, if my Gunnar was alive to see me now. I inherited the store from my husband. His father was Arnleif. My husband, Gunnar, died about 5 years ago. Forsworn attack. I miss that stubborn oaf.
Tacitus, what is this?
A nail?
Is that what you call it? In the Legion, we would call it useless. Look how brittle the metal is.
I'm sorry. Well, the forge gets so hot in the job.
You thought what? You would skip a step? Not heat the metal all the way through? Jesus. Now do it again. You strike the metal, and you must be giving the blade a light slap. Hit it harder.
I'm sorry, folks. I just flinch and...
Pound the dust out of your eye. It'll break when it's finished. Hit it harder. Tacitus? Poison Imperial. I keep showing him how to treat the iron, but he never gets it. In the Legion, the Imperial Smiths used to read books when they couldn't set their hammers straight. Wisdom of the old, I guess. That's right. An orc stronghold. Kept to ourselves, lived as our ancestors would have loved. Wasn't enough for me, though. I left. Didn't want to end up as the third wife of some lowly chieftain.
Don't mind the dogs. They get anxious when they haven't had dinner.
Only reason Jarl keeps Anton on is because he cooks up a storm.
I have meals to cook for the entire castle, and almost no help. No, I'm a Breton from High Rock, and I refuse to be mistaken for a filthy native. I don't care if we share the same ancestors. These people are savages. Half of them are forsworn barbarians. And have you seen what they eat? What have I done for the gods to take me so far from my beloved Daggerfall? Yes, the finest court in all of High Rock. You think politics here or something? Well, we Bretons invented politics. That is where I learned to cook, and where I belong. Not here with all these dogs.
I'm the Jarl's personal blacksmith. That doesn't mean I can't sell you a few pieces for a fair price. I need a dangerous heart. Jarl wants me to cool his new sword in blood. I prefer using water to cool my metal, but it's what the Jarl wants.
My wife Kira runs our jewelry stall in the market.
Are you looking for a gift for a friend, perhaps? Or a lover?
Want a cut of venison or mutton?
My daughter Adara is also my apprentice. She's a quick study.
Mama doesn't like me jumping up and down in the house. But I can't help it, I swear. I'm gonna be a silversmith one day, like my mother and father.
My family came here centuries ago. We made a good living smithing the silver that flows through the city. But you probably wanted to know about the fancy carvings and stonework, didn't you? Travelers always do.
Do I look like a guide? Only thing I do is sell meat. Are you going to buy or not?
I work silver, like my father, and his father before him.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Never leave the house? You want that ending?
You're closing this stall, and that's fine.
Bloodiest beef in the
You
reach.
want to give up now, out of fear? Is that what we're going to teach our daughter?
I said alms, you backbiter.
Mama, why are
Give
you
a
and
crippled
Papa
worker a
fighting?
helping hand.
We're
You
not
dare,
fighting,
pretty
we're
man.
just...
You need some fresh meat
Why
for your
don't I
family?
get you something to eat?
Just look at the blood
Mama
coming
and
from
Papa
this
will talk
cut.
later.
That's disgusting. Get that rotting carcass
Finest
away
jewelry
from me.
in all of Markarth.
Being an apprentice is great. I get to swing a hammer at things.
Give a crippled worker a helping hand. Finally. Now get lost.
Hello, dear husband. Have you brought more silver jewelry for me to sell?
Yes, I have. Adara made the rings herself. She's
Bloodiest
learning to
beef
bend the
in the
metal
reach.
well.
Oh, they are perfect. Thank you both.
You see that temple? Way up there? All them women keeping to themselves? Won't let poor Degain in, nope. Not even for a look. But they've got a treasure in there. Gold statue size of a child.
Ugh,
Who knows
the
what they
most
use it
disgusting
for, but
merchant I've ever
I know
seen.
what I'll use it
The
for.
guard should take you away.
The sisters are communing with Debella. They can't be disturbed. You'll have to come back another time.